Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. This is the daily reading for Thursday, the 9th of May, 2019. 3-card major arcana reading, possibly with some clarifiers, then one from the swords, one from the wands, one from the pentacles, and one from the cups. Okay, one last cut. Right. The Devil. Moon in reverse. The Empress. Ooh. That's nice. That's very nice. That's very nice indeed. I mean, we're moving from a state of self-maintained bondage, so to speak, to a place of complete fecundity, creativity, and wonderful, abundant manifestation here in the Empress. What's sitting in the middle, this is the key card for the day. I mean, in a sense, this card in the middle is always the key card because it's what's blocking our perception, keeping us here and preventing us from expanding into this. And this really is expansion today. So let's look at this, the moon in reverse. Yeah, this is about letting go. I mean, the devil is about letting go, or rather the unwillingness to let go. And it's a very strange phenomenon. I've noticed this in myself and in others, that one can have a kind of self-perpetuating state of internal imprisonment. One can know what it is. One can know how it works. One can know the damage it is doing. And yet, we hold on to it. It's one of the most mysterious, puzzling, and in a weird way, sort of sweet things about us. You know, we're a rum lot, human beings, and we often act in our own worst interests. And when given the solution, the way out, the opportunity to let go, another way of looking at things, in the face of our complaint about our internal imprisonment, we will refuse it. We will refuse it. It's extraordinary. You know, people say, oh, I've got this problem and that problem, and this is making me unhappy, and that's making me unhappy, and but. And you say, well, you know, you could look at it this way, or you could, and people go, oh, no. No, I can't do that because X, Y, Z. And that's what's on the table today. But I need to understand the nature of this reversal. Because reversals in the tarot can mean refusal, they can mean unwillingness, they can mean inability to engage with the nature of change that's on the cards, because they're all about change. It can indicate something from the past or something that hasn't yet happened. So I'm just going to take a moment and see what I think is going on here. Okay, yeah, that didn't take long. What I'm getting from this is that this is an active refusal to release into Empress energy, and it's very deep rooted. In the Devil card, what we're dealing with is, as I say, self-maintained imprisonment. And it has to be understood for what it is before it can be released, before release can come. And by understanding the nature of the hooks inside us and how they are, in a sense, helping us stay tied down. Now, tied down in and of itself is usually seen as it usually has a kind of negative connotation about it, and fair dues here. It's the devil. I mean, it ain't a happy place, is it? Look at that. Ooh. But sometimes being tied down is necessary. I mean, think about a tent. You need a tent to be firmly pegged down in the ground for it to protect you from wind and rain and function suitably as a shelter. So what I'm seeing here today is a push-pull between established ties that keep us in a position that we understand, that may not be 100% comfortable, clearly not, but that we nonetheless recognize, understand, and feel comfortably uncomfortable in. And yet, look what's on offer. Look what's on offer. Why would one not release into the freedom of infinite creativity here in the Empress card? Why would one stay tied down? There's a fear today that if one lets go, if we let go, all the stuff that is buried, and not buried, but kind of kept, weighted down at the bottom of the ocean, like this lobster was. Lobsters, I'm not going to go all Jordan Peterson and go on about lobsters, but lobsters live at the bottom of the sea. They are really rather solitary creatures and extremely long-lived. And when they shed their shell, they are incredibly vulnerable. And obviously in their state of vulnerability, that's when they can be got by an enemy force, or basically something that wants to eat them. So they have to secrete themselves away for the process of growth. And what we have in the Moon card is the emergence of the lobster from the depths. It's very near the end of the tarot cycle. And it's when much has been achieved. And yet, before we can pass to the finish line, which is the world, 3 cards away, we got the, well, yeah, 2 cards away, we got the Sun and then Judgment to go through before we can get to the finish line. Before we can get there, we have to allow the deeply buried stuff to bubble up to the surface and come out. And that can be really quite disturbing. I mean, it is a quite disturbing image. We've got these howling canines. The scene is mitigated by some rather lovely flowers there. We have a fallen or half-fallen fence. So we've got this weird mixture of beautiful growth in the flowers, a structure that has sort of half fallen down, these mad dogs howling at the moon, and the watchtower on the headland there, keeping an eye on it all. So there's been this vigilance for a really long time from the watchtower of the passing of the ships on the emotional sea. And in the foreground, as I say, we have these baying dogs that are kind of losing their minds as this stuff bubbles up. So there's fear today, and there's a holding on today. The challenge I see on the table today is to understand that whatever is buried in the depths of the self is no worse than anything that any other individual has buried in the depths of themselves. It's about letting go of the specialness of our own neurosis. And letting go of the protective veil of the secrets and the lies that we hold down in the guts of ourselves. That can make us feel awfully special, and it's a mistake. I know a few people whose entire self-image and sense of self-worth, in a really very perverse way, when I say perverse, my eye is falling back onto the devil here, is built around their misery, and they will not let go. And it's the I'm very specially damaged. That's what it's that. It's that. It's like, no, you're not. You're just damaged in the same way as everybody else is damaged. You have the same core wounds as everybody else has. There's the challenge is to let go of the specialness of one's own unhappiness today and release into this, because this is always here for us. She ain't going nowhere. And in this reading, there's absolutely no conditionality in her. She understands all of it. She's got room for all of it. Her lap is wide enough to hold every squalling child today. So accept the squalling child inside yourself and crawl onto the lap of the great mother. You know, what's going to come tumbling out of you if you let go? As I say, it's no better, no worse, no more or less horrendous than can be said of any other individual walking this earth. She's seen it all. She's seen it all. Right, let's get one from the swords. Go on, love. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake off that rope. 8 of Swords. Shake off that rope and walk away. We had this a couple of days ago. Shake off the rope. Remove the blindfold. You're not going to see anything particularly horrendous. The first thing you're going to see is that the way in front of you is open. Then you can pick your way across the puddles of your own tears and walk into freedom. Shake it off. I love that song, it's great. I love the video as well, it's great. Not a great pop fan here, but I do like that song. Four of Wands. Well, here is action in the world in the form of the Wands. Really, really echoing the Empress energy today. Absolutely lovely. And what a transformation from these vertical spikes to these vertical objects. So we're going from a sense of imprisonment to a sense of structure and celebration. And I am convinced today that these two ladies here welcoming us to the party are the sort of the handmaidens of the Empress, and the Empress is in that castle. This is beautiful celebration of fruitfulness. So it is all dependent on the courage to let go and release ourselves from the self-limiting narrative of our own imperfection. Okay. Eight of Pentacles. Yes, it's hard work. It's hard work, but by God, we're at it. We're at it. It's going. There is yeah, okay. Sorry. We've got two eights on the table now. We've got two eights and a four. Things are balancing up very, very nicely. As the fellow here knocks out his pentacles and adds them to the wall for sale, I would say. I don't think he's doing it as a hobby. Each one that gets knocked out, each hammer blow there of his tool with which he is engraving these pentacles onto these coins is a hammer blow that knocks down one of those swords. So there's a kind of a very practical energy to this. And possibly just a refusal. You know, if a thought comes up, oh, I can't do that because I'm this, or I got that wrong because I'm that. If a thought like that comes up, just knock it on the head, or just like knock on the door of it and go, excuse me, what are you doing in there? Are you real? Really? And question in a very, very, very prosaic way. It's like, well, who says so? Who says so? And one can ask the self that. And it has to be questions of the self, because it's self-imposed. It's self-imposed. Question your own assumptions about yourself in a very, very down-to-earth way. And that's what I'm getting from the Eight of Pentacles here. Okay, and one from the Cups. Oops. How beautiful. Here is this wondrous union again. Now, I spoke the other day about this. Two of Cups. In the female is a little bit of the male. In the male is a little bit of the female. The willingness to meet in the middle is what creates the magic out of the coming together of these two cups. It's the willingness to meet in the middle that creates the new life, which we see in the double helix caduceus of healing rising from these cups. There's no sort of are you acceptable? Are you good enough? Are you are you acceptable? There's utter acceptance here in these two figures. They are not a complete 100% reflection of each other, but there is enough in each of them to be recognized in the other. And in that respect, there is a coming together and a creation of the new. And that, again, reflects the creative energy of the Empress here. So the challenge today on the table is to, in a very, very pragmatic, unexciting, down-to-earth way, question your own assumptions about the power of your own limitations, and see that somewhere in those limitations is the key to overcoming them. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you again soon for another reading. Bye-bye.